We were very fortunate at Cobalt to benefit not only from being in the right place at the right time, and that's not just luck, that's also vision to be in the right place at the right time. It's the old hockey analogy, it's you don't go where the puck is, you go to where the puck is going. I think we were a number of years ahead of the industry. And if you look at a lot of the value propositions that embodied what we did at Cobalt, they are now commonplace across the industry. We were ahead of our time. That allowed us to very quickly move through the big boys, get pretty substantial very quick. We had no religion. We just focused on customer success. And within 2 years, we were able to take the company public, had one of the largest IPOs in NASDAQ history, and ultimately sold the company to Sun Microsystems for $2 billion in 1999. That was a pretty extraordinary run. From no customers, no products, no revenue, no team, to a big run rate, publicly held company, and one of the largest M&A transactions in Silicon Valley. That was pretty wild. And nothing will replace that experience. I had another awesome experience with a company called Azul. Azul's right down the street here, right off Shoreline. I think all of us in technology that have made a career out of technology have to have your invent moment. Have to have that moment where you say, I need to go well beyond what the capabilities or the technical know-how of the industry is today and open up a new frontier. And that's exactly what we did at Azul. We took a team of, again, less than 30 talented engineers, hand-picked engineers, literally hand-picked from where they were, which, by the way, takes know-how. We're fortunate we live here in Silicon Valley, the epicenter of innovation inside of the industry that we've chosen. But at the end of the day, when you build startups, when you build young companies, the people that you hire will define you more than your vision. 10 great people can do the work of 1 million. And 10 bad people will kill your company overnight. We set out to build the world's largest SMP. Not just for the sake of having the world's largest SMP, but to solve a real problem, or a capacity plan around server capacity. If you think around trying to provide servers to a trading exchange, or you think about a reservation system, where you have a theory in terms of what traffic levels are going to be, peaks and valleys, right? And what does IT do? They over-provision, because the last thing you want to have is not enough capacity. At the same time, people are very tight in their money, and they want to get high return on their invested capital and technology. So if I buy all these servers, and I'm in a valley, I've got a lot of unused demand. And so everybody, all the rage at the time was grid computing. Can we tap into these stores of CPUs all over the place and create this big mesh? I got a better idea. How about we simply plug in the capacity and the capacity is there and eliminate the concept of capacity planning around compute? Holy smokes, what a killer idea. In order to fulfill that vision, we had to build the industry's first 24-core chip, which was ultimately replaced by a 48-core chip, which we put into a fully symmetrical system, and were able to build close to 900-way systems, which could be bolted into an existing server infrastructure transparently without any religion. What a concept. Killer concept. Required a lot of capital to get the company running, and while it is breakthrough technology, it is still boutique technology. And its market may be defined by the fringes. Its market may not be defined by Main Street, but its value is felt in the niche. And as you build your company, as you build your technology, it is so critical for you to have multiple outcomes in mind in terms of where your company and your technology may evolve. Not everybody's going to build the next Google. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you do, please let me know. I'd like to invest. But there are lots and lots of great outcomes. And these two experiences, along with the experience that I've had in great companies like HP and Cisco and Sun and others, has shaped a couple of kind of maybe key thoughts that I'd like to leave you with. And there's nothing real rocket science here. First off, I believe very strongly if you are an entrepreneur, it's all about you. Yes, your team will define your success. There's no question about it. It's a team sport. I can't name any startup at any level that was defined by an individual. But as the lead entrepreneur or as the CEO of a startup, it all falls on your shoulders. You have to bring it every day. You have to have the passion and zeal for your space, and you have to be the loudest voice at the table. And that isn't just around the dinner table where you're trying to get money from VCs or you're trying to, posture. This is about your voice inside of the industry. I see so many startups that are not bold enough to tell their story in a compelling way. You have the right to do that. And I think if you look historically over the thousands of companies that have succeeded and the thousands of companies, the tens of thousands of companies that haven't succeeded, you can go right to leadership 99% of the time. I believe very strongly in that. You got to build stuff that's relevant. I talked about boutique technology or niche technology versus mainstream, but innovations, especially in this environment, have to matter. Innovation for the sake of innovation is pointless. It's something that we are challenged with in a big company like Hewlett-Packard. We spend somewhere, give or take, somewhere between $3.5 and $4 and change billion a year on our own internal R&D. And inside of that R&D, about maybe 70% of that spend is focused on our core business, the things that butter our bread. The other 30% of that investment is out there. And looking at areas where we can transform a business model, transform a workflow, transform a consumer experience, transform a cost of ownership model, whatever the case may be. I'd say in our case, maybe 8 out of 10 historically never see the light of the day. Because while they're innovations, while they are enhancements, while they are improvements, they're not innovations that radically change buying behavior. And that's something that we're wrestling with a lot. You know, startups typically have a better sense as to what innovation matters because you're trying to one-up something else. You're trying to take an existing model and do it better. That would imply that you have a good sense in terms of what innovations are that matter. This is not a time, if you're looking to go out and build a prosperous young company, this is not a time to be off in the hinterland focusing on deep think. This is a time to create innovations that change the game. Competency in everything. You know, you think about great companies like Microsoft or great companies like Apple and HP, some of the Silicon Valley icons that are here. You know, take Apple and HP, probably the defining companies of Silicon Valley from the outset. Both companies have had huge, huge issues in competency in everything. You know, if you go back to the 1985 with Apple, Apple came out with innovations that matter. They brought a user experience to a broad set of customers that didn't have any exposure to that kind of technology. They transformed the landscape. But if you look at the Apple from 1985 to 1990, that would not be an organization that was characterized by competency in everything. Great product design, strong marketing, operational challenges, forecasting challenges, supply chain challenges, go-to-market challenges, partnership challenges, legal challenges. I mean, the list goes on and on. Look at Hewlett-Packard. If you turn the clock back just 10, 12 years ago, Hewlett-Packard was and also ran in the U.S. consumer space in PCs. Wasn't a stronghold. Very strong printing business, very strong in these particular disciplines. But as you get broadly across the market, we had huge gaps. In your world, in the world of startup, the investments that you make into your founding team, as you expand out your organization, as you put together your board, as you expand your engineering wherewithal, every aspect of your business, you have to have the right mindset and metrics that you're going to be the best in the game. And ultimately, at the end of the day, if you put the right talent on the team, it's all about execution. That's, you know, our game is an execution game. It'll never be anything other than that. I encourage all of you that are involved in technology companies where you look at companies like Hewlett-Packard and go, hey, is there a play there? Is there something inside of what I'm doing that may make sense with HP? Come and talk to us. Come talk to me. Don't be afraid of the big boys. One of the lessons I learned very well inside of a small company is sometimes it's hard to get companies like Microsoft and companies like HP to pay attention. That's a very easy stereotype. I promise you, please come talk to us. We're very, very interested in hearing what you're doing. We're interested in helping.